Let's talk about exhaustion and fatigue, mama, because if you are still exhausted, whether it's been a year since you've had your baby, or maybe it's been multiple years, it's been years since having your babe, you're not alone. You might be sleeping more these days, but you're still waking up tired. You feel foggy. You're reaching for caffeine. Like you are very dependent on caffeine. You need coffee in the morning just to get you through the day. And I totally get it. Between early wake ups, the endless to do list, and trying to keep up with everyone else, exhaustion can start to feel like your new normal. Like, oh, this is just being a mom. But being a mom doesn't mean you have to feel depleted all of the time. Being a mom doesn't mean you should feel exhausted and drained. Your body is trying to tell you something. And if we can listen to these signals, we can finally start to restore real lasting energy and not feel this exhaustion all of the time. So that's why with today's episode, we are going to be diving into what your sleep, stress, and hormones are telling you when it comes to exhaustion and fatigue. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or like you've lost yourself in the postpartum chaos? Whether you're 4 weeks postpartum, 2 years in, or done having babies, you deserve to feel like yourself again. Hey mama, I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, postpartum fitness coach, and a mama who understands exactly what you're going through. Welcome to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast, where you'll find simple, science-backed strategies to heal your core, rebuild strength, and restore your energy without the overwhelm. If you're ready to go from depleted to strong, nourished, and unstoppable, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Before we get into today's episode, I have something so exciting to share with you, and I'm happy that I get to finally share it because I've been waiting and I'm super excited. So the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast is officially turning 1, and to celebrate this amazing community, to celebrate you amazing mamas and this milestone, I am hosting a 1-year anniversary giveaway. So I've put together a very special Strong and Nourished Mama gift bag filled with some of my favorite mom essentials to help you feel energized, supported, and probably a little spoiled. So this is what is included in the gift bag. A $20 Amazon gift card. Who doesn't love Amazon? I'm probably on Amazon every single day. A mini 20-ounce shaker bottle, great for the gym, on the go, smoothies, your supplements, your creatine, your amino acids, all of the things. And it's a pretty fun color. Supplement samples. So I'm going to give you the collagen that I recommend to my clients, creatine, essential amino acids, a prenatal pack. So the prenatal pack includes vitamins, minerals, choline, fish oil, and more. And then I'm also throwing in, it's not a sample, it's actually a full bottle of Life Extensions Daily PMS Relief. Okay, so this is 60 capsules and it's great for cramps, mood swings, fatigue, nausea, and low back discomfort. So I am throwing that in as a bonus. And I'm also going to be sharing some electrolyte packets with you from LMNT or Element, as well as Relay. So this is a full gift bag that you are going to be getting. Now, here is how to enter into the giveaway. I need you to leave a 5-star review for the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Now, before you submit that review, I need you to take a screenshot of it, okay? This is just so it can include your name or your username. So take a screenshot of it before you post it because it does take some time for the review to show up, probably like a day or two. So I want to make sure that I can get that before it actually shows up, before it's too late. Then you're going to DM me, direct message me the screenshot on Instagram at wellnessbyval_. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at wellnessbyval_. You can also search Val Warner. And that is what you're going to do to qualify to be entered into this giveaway. So let me repeat that. 1, make sure you're following me on Instagram at wellnessbyval_. You're going to leave a 5-star review for the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. And that's going to be on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Before you submit the review, screenshot your review so that we can actually see your name. And then DM me the screenshot on Instagram so that you can be entered in for the giveaway. So entries actually open Monday, November 10th. The podcast turns 1 on Tuesday, the 11th. So we're going to be doing the giveaway around that. So Monday, November 10th is when you can start entering in. And in that podcast episode that's released on that Monday, I'll be repeating this so you don't forget. And it's going to go through Wednesday, November 12th. So you have 3 full days to submit and enter in, and tell your mom friends, tell everyone, and share it with those that you love. And I'm going to be announcing the winner on Monday's episode, November 17th, on the podcast and on Instagram. So be sure to enter to get this beautiful, amazing, Strong and Nourished Mama gift bag. I'm so excited that I'm able to give this to you guys. And thank you so much for listening to the show. So if the show has inspired you, encouraged you, or simply made you feel less alone in motherhood, this is your chance to give back, celebrate with me, and win something fun in the process. All right, let's dive in, because today we are talking about something I know so many moms are struggling with: feeling exhausted, even if it's been a year, 2 years plus after having your baby. I really wanted to share this information and do this podcast episode on sleep, stress, and hormones, about exhaustion, because I've heard so many moms, and I've had so many different conversations lately with clients, friends, moms at the gym, and everyone's saying things like, I don't understand why I'm still so tired. My baby is sleeping through the night. My toddler is sleeping through the night, or I'm not waking as much. So why am I still so exhausted? I've been there too. And that's exactly where I was this summer. I was thinking, why am I so tired? Like, I know my toddler is waking up a little bit, but she's sleeping a lot better. Why am I still so exhausted? And some people may think, okay, it's just motherhood. It is what it is. You're working, you're doing all the things, you're being a mom, you have a baby, you have a toddler. But when that fatigue lingers for months after months, or even years later for some people, that's not normal. So as a dietitian and as a mom myself, I see this pattern over and over again. Moms doing everything right. They're working out, they're eating clean, they're taking their vitamins, their supplements, but they're still running on empty. And the truth is, it's not just about willpower or motivation. It really isn't. And I hear moms tell me, I just have to have more willpower. I just have to have more willpower. I have to, get more motivation. And that's not it. It's about what's happening inside of your body and really listening to what your body is communicating with you. So that's what I want to break down with you today with this episode. I want to help you understand what your sleep, your stress, and your hormones are really saying, and what you can do to start feeling like you again. I had a client who came to me about a year after her second babe, and she said, Val, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing all of the things. I'm eating healthy. I'm not eating out as much as I used to. I'm working out when I can. I'm getting in my walks. I'm finally getting a little bit more sleep, but I still feel exhausted and drained. We started working together and discovered that she was underfueling. She was undereating. She wasn't eating enough. She was overstressed, and she was running on empty cortisol. Her body was drained. And once we really focused on rebuilding her energy instead of trying to push harder, which it's so easy to do. It is so easy, and I've done that myself. Let me just push harder. Let me just do another exercise or a workout. Let me just add this walk in, even though I'm exhausted. Her body responded. She started sleeping better. Her cravings went down, and she finally felt like herself again. And she was so excited about it. And that's exactly what I want to help you understand today, because fatigue isn't random. It's your body's way of communicating with you and telling you something deeper needs some support, and really getting curious and understanding why. Why do I have this lingering fatigue? Why do I have this exhaustion? We have to figure that out. So let's walk through the most common reasons moms feel drained even years, decades after giving birth, and how you can start turning that around. Number 1, your hormones are still rebalancing. So even years after pregnancy, your hormones can take time to find that equilibrium again, to find that balance. And that's something I'm personally experiencing with right now. It's been over 2 years since having my baby girl. And sometimes my hormones, especially if I'm on overdrive, I'm overstressed, and I'm doing so many things at once, and I'm not taking the time to physically recover, I see it in my hormones. And not only my sex hormones, but every other hormone, my cortisol, it's all deeply connected. Estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, it's deeply connected, and especially with your menstrual cycle. So when one is off, the others are often going to follow. Low progesterone and elevated cortisol can leave you anxious, irritable, make it really, really hard for you to fall asleep or stay asleep. And when your sleep is poor, you know that your body is not going to feel its best the next day. Your body's actually going to produce even more cortisol, creating this vicious cycle. And then you're going to reach for foods to keep you awake because you're so exhausted. And you may be irritable and you may not be as resilient as you used to be. So this is why rebuilding energy isn't just about more coffee. It's not just about getting all of the caffeine. It's about restoring hormonal balance through nourishment, recovery, and rest. Now, number 2 is chronic stress is going to equal a cortisol roller coaster. Cortisol is the stress hormone. People think of cortisol as bad, but we need her. We need cortisol to get out of bed in the morning. Often what I'm finding with my clients is that we have this dysregulation of cortisol. Cortisol has this diurnal rhythm. And so it's going to peak in the morning and then it's going to start to decrease and go down in the evening. That's what we want, okay? That is what is normal. But what I am saying with so many people, so many moms and women, is that it's the opposite. Cortisol is low in the morning and it's high in the evening. And then melatonin is totally opposite of that too. So when we talk about stress, we really have to talk about cortisol and what is going on in your daily life. Most of us are not supporting our nervous systems. We are not supporting our beautiful nervous systems. We are running on overdrive. We are go, go, go from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. We leave maternity leave. We jump right back into life full throttle, like we never were pregnant or postpartum. And don't get me wrong, I know many moms don't have the luxury of taking more time off, and I wish that was totally different here. But we have to go back to work. I had to go back to work, right? You have to go back to work. You have to do all of the things. But we do have control over how we support our bodies, especially when we are under that constant stress. The stress of going back to work full time, the stress of feeding our baby, figuring out schedules, drop-offs, pickups, sports. So when cortisol stays high for too long, or it's high at the inappropriate times of day, it's going to disrupt your sleep. It's going to make it harder for you to go to sleep and actually stay asleep. It's going to decrease or slow down muscle recovery. And we need muscle recovery, especially when we're sleeping, to be able to build on top of that and to feel strong. It's going to affect your menstrual cycle. And so if we're constantly stressed and on the go all of the time, you're probably not going to ovulate or ovulate as robustly as you could have or normally do. And then you're not going to get your progesterone in the second half of your menstrual cycle. So whether you want to get pregnant right now or not, ovulation is key. And we can talk about this in a future episode. But stress and high cortisol, chronic high cortisol, is going to affect your menstrual cycle. It's going to cause inflammation, bloating. It's going to make it really, really difficult to lose fat and to build muscle, to build strength and endurance. So if your body thinks it's in survival mode, which is that's what it is, right? Even though you're giving everything your body as best as you can, everything that it needs, it probably still thinks that it's in survival mode because lack of sleep, we may be under eating, or go, go, go from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed. We're not supporting our nervous systems. We're not taking a break. We're not eating well. We're not resting. We're not recovering. So your body feels threatened and it's in survival mode. So step 1 is to regulate the stress response. We have 2 branches of our nervous system. And if we are in that stress response all of the time, which is your fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system, heart rate's going to be high, blood pressure is going to be high, blood flow leaves the gut and goes to the extremities, cortisol is going to run rampant. And this is going to affect how and everything that we do every single day. And so what do we do to regulate that stress response? Let's start with some deep breathing. Do this if traffic is crazy on the way to work or drop-offs, do some deep breathing. Inhale through the nose as the belly rises. Exhale as the belly falls. Feel the shoulders fall and relax. Maybe you add in little walking breaks throughout your day. And if you're saying, Val, I don't have time for that, you have time for a 60-second walk. You can go out and walk 30 seconds one way and come back for the rest of the 30 seconds. You have time for 5 minutes, especially if we take away some time from scrolling. Maybe we integrate some walking into that, or maybe it's stretching, journaling, journaling, reading a book, simply taking a few minutes to yourself throughout the busyness of the day can make a massive difference. Number 3 is underfueling and blood sugar swings. This one I see constantly. Moms are trying to do everything. I try to do everything. And my husband is like, "What are you doing? Chill out, woman." And I'm like, "I know. What am I doing? That's a good question. I need to relax. And I don't need to do everything all at once. The workouts, the meal prep, the drop-offs, the cleaning, the organizing, the this, the that." And then that leads to not eating enough to fuel it all. Underfueling, undereating, not eating enough is one of the biggest contributors to fatigue. And I see it every single week when I'm talking with my clients. When you skip meals or you undereat, your blood sugar is going to crash, your cortisol is going to spike. So there goes that vicious cycle, and your body is going to feel more depleted. And then later in the day, in the evening, you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm starving." And then you're going to eat all of this food that you probably didn't want to eat. And then you're like, "Why did I eat all of that? Now I don't feel good, and now I'm going to bed." We have to make sure that we're fueling early in the day and that we have a plan for that, especially if mornings are super busy and super hectic. We actually talked a lot about this in last week's episode on nutrition and fat loss. So if you missed it, go back and listen after this one. But fueling consistently throughout the day, having balanced meals, getting enough protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, your fiber from your plant foods, it's going to keep your blood sugar stable, and it's going to keep energy steady. And so that's really going to help with everything else you have to do the rest of the busy day. Number 4, sleep quality versus sleep quantity. So even if you're sleeping through the night, it doesn't necessarily mean that the sleep is restorative. We want enough deep sleep and we want enough REM sleep. These stages is where your body is both physically and mentally recovering. In fact, 95% of human growth hormone is released during deep sleep, which is going to support recovery, metabolism, and even fat loss. So if you're not getting into deep sleep or you're not getting enough of deep sleep, then you're not going to be getting this human growth hormone that is actually going to be helping with recovery. Here's what often happens. Once the kids go to bed, we finally have quiet time. And it is so tempting to clean up and to vacuum. I've talked to clients and they're like, "Oh, Val, after I put the kids to bed, I'm cleaning and I'm vacuuming and I'm organizing and I'm trying to catch up on work, or I'm just scrolling, or I'm watching my TV shows." I totally get it. This is the time that you have once the kids go to sleep, because all day it's been crazy. I work full time. I have my private practice. I have this wonderful podcast. So sometimes nighttime is the only time I have to get things done. But there's this fine balance, and I personally prefer going to bed early and waking up earlier to get my workout in or to work on things that I need to catch up on before the day actually begins. And so I try to have that boundary or that balance. It doesn't mean I never stay up a little bit later to watch a TV show or catch up on other things. It's just for majority of the time, I'm trying to have this boundary of, okay, this is when I need to start getting ready for bed, because I know that if I don't get enough sleep, if I don't make enough time for sleep, and if I don't get in a good pre-bed routine, I'm not going to sleep well. And then I'm going to wake up and I'm going to start this vicious cycle over again. I personally try to aim for 7.5 hours of sleep most nights. And having a pre-bed routine makes all of the difference. Dimming the lights, trying to limit screens, putting on night mode on your screens, stretching, doing breathing, giving your brain that signal that it's time to rest so that you don't go to bed tired. You're tired, you're exhausted, but you're wired. We want to be able to have cortisol go down before bed so that we can actually go to sleep. And then number 5 is nutrient depletion. So even if you're eating well, nutrient depletion is very common for moms. Pregnancy, breastfeeding, postpartum recovery, chronic stress, it's all going to deplete your stores of key vitamins and minerals, especially iron, magnesium, B vitamins. Iron is going to help deliver oxygen to your muscles, to your brain. It's actually going to be used in the energy system for you to be able to get energy. Low levels can cause fatigue, dizziness, brain fog, exhaustion. Your B vitamins are going to support energy metabolism. It's going to support your nervous system function. And so when you're really low, you can feel anxious, sluggish, low energy. And then magnesium, my absolute favorite. It's going to help calm your nervous system, and it's going to help promote deep sleep. It's going to help actually with muscle recovery. There are different forms of magnesium, which we can talk about in a future episode. And all of them are really, really great for these key things. Most people are very low in magnesium, by the way. It's one of the first minerals depleted by stress, caffeine, when you're on the go, because we need magnesium in the biochemical reaction to create energy. Magnesium is actually involved in now over 600 biochemical reactions. It is involved in everything, and most people are very low. So some simple ways to replenish these: iron, grass-fed beef, lentils, spinach, pumpkin seeds, your B vitamins, think eggs, salmon, chicken, beef, leafy greens, your magnesium, almonds, avocado, dark chocolate. Yes, I said it, dark chocolate, pumpkin seeds. So you can get these nutrients from your foods. And so if we can really be strategic on how we're building our meals and adding them in, that can be super helpful. So if you think you're low, it's always worth asking your provider, your registered dietitian, to check your levels or discuss supplementing with high quality forms. And that's something that I can do with you. So what do we do about it? What do we do about these things? To start feeling better, we want to focus on these 4 pillars. We want to fuel consistently. We want to eat balanced meals and snacks throughout the day. We want to move gently, walking, strength training, yoga, stretching. Listen to your energy, not your guilt. If you feel fatigued and very tired, don't go to the gym and do a high intensity interval training session. Maybe do some light restorative yoga or stretching or mobility. I want you to prioritize recovery. Rest is productive. It is very productive and your body needs it. And sometimes as moms, we feel like rest is a waste of time. And that's not true at all. And then we want to manage stress. That is the 4th pillar. Support your nervous system every day in small ways like we discussed. And remember that you don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Things take time. Restoration happens through these small, consistent changes. So if you are still feeling tired years after having your baby, it's not your fault. This is your body just trying to tell you, hey, I need a little bit more support. Can you give me some support? I'm hanging on. And you don't need to push harder. You actually need to replenish. You need to rebuild. You need to restore. So this week, I have a little challenge for you. I want you to pick one area to focus on: sleep, stress, or nutrition. And I want you to ask yourself, what's one small thing? It can be very, very small. What's one small thing that I can do to support my energy in this area? Maybe it's going to bed earlier. Maybe it's taking a short walk after lunch at a very slow pace. Maybe it's eating a real breakfast that's balanced. Choose one of these areas and then one small thing that you can do to support your energy. I hope this episode helped you understand your energy just a little bit better, mama. Remember, the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast giveaway officially opens next week, Monday, November 10th. So make sure you're following the show and watching my stories for the announcement. And if you're ready to take the next step and actually feel strong, nourished, and energized again, this is exactly what I help moms do inside the Strong, Nourished, and Energized Mom Method. It's my 8-week experience that helps you rebuild your energy, heal your core and pelvic floor, and create sustainable routines that actually work with your body and not against it. Head to wellnessbyval.com/program to learn more, or check out the link in the show notes. You've got this, mama. Stay strong, stay nourished, and I will see you next week. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If you got something out of it or simply enjoyed listening, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom who could use the support? And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in. It truly means the world to me, and it helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to go chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.